This morning we walked about half a mile from the marina to the Castillo de San Felipe de Barajas, originally known as Castillo de San Lazaro, built in 1639 by enslaved African labor under Spanish rule. The fortress sits atop the hill of San Lazaro in Cartagena. Its location was chosen strategically to keep watch over all land and sea approaches to the city. Over the centuries, the Castillo witnessed numerous attacks, from the late 1600s to the early 1800s, and remarkably, it still stands strong today. In 1984, it was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognizing its incredible history and preservation. If you've been following our journey, you might remember that we also explored another Castillo de San Felipe when we were in Guatemala. We've since learned that the name San Felipe was quite common for Spanish fortresses. Many were named or renamed during the reigns of the Spanish King Philips II, III, or IV to honor the crown and assert royal authority. After exploring the Castillo, we wandered over to the Getsemani neighborhood inside Cartagena's old wall city to grab a bite to eat. It's a colorful area full of life, with street performers, vendors, and music on almost every corner. Here, Maddie is enjoying an arepa, a traditional Colombian food made from ground maize dough, shaped into a flatbread and stuffed with just about anything: eggs, meat, cheese, and occasionally vegetables. They're delicious, easy to eat on the go, and perfect at any time of day. We're standing out front of Marina de Pesca, and we are going to head up to Minca with the Vida Shred and Palarran to go have a jungle bird watching experience. So we got a 5.5 hour van ride, which is kind of north of Santa Marta.
Yeah, maybe I was just seeing if it's somebody here that would do it. No.
So we're moving from our Sprinter van to two four-wheel drive cars to get up the mountain, and we're trying to load all of our stuff into these two cars and 13 people. Part of fully embracing boat life for us means exploring every area we visit as much as we can. So when the opportunity came up, we thought it'd be fun to meet up with two other cruising families and rent an Airbnb in Minca, just for a change of scenery, to trade in the beach life for a few days in the mountains. Minca sits in the foothills of Colombia's Sierra Nevada mountains and is known as a backpacker's paradise, full of hostels, international cuisine, waterfalls, and coffee and chocolate farms tucked into lush green hills. The road up to the house is often washed out during heavy rains and sometimes completely impassable because of mudslides, so we felt pretty lucky to make it all the way to our destination. Because the road is so narrow and winding, drivers honk their horns as they approach each turn to warn anyone coming the other way. It's definitely not a road for the faint of heart. As a general rule, for every 1,000 feet of elevation you gain, the temperature drops about 3.5 degrees. Our house was about 40 minutes up the mountain from Minca, high enough that it felt like we'd entered a completely different climate. With Hurricane Melissa churning out in the Caribbean, the weather was wet, misty, and cool, nearly 20 degrees colder than down at sea level. None of us packed enough warm clothes, so staying active became the best way to keep warm. I, on the other hand, was often found burrowed under the covers trying to stay warm, which is kind of funny considering I'm from the high desert of Idaho. One of the best parts about renting a house big enough for 3 families was giving the kids time to just hang out and do their own thing. There were 7 kids total, ranging in age from 11 to 14, and they had an absolute blast, having sleepovers, choreographing musical dance performances, running around playing tag, and of course, sneaking in a few video games. I have to admit, one of my favorite parts was not having to cook for 4 whole days. For just $25 a day, we were able to hire a local chef to prepare 3 meals a day for all of us, which is pretty incredible when you think about feeding 13 people. It felt like such a luxury, and I was truly grateful for that little break. So it's about 9:30 in the morning, and we are headed out of our villa that we're staying at and gonna go walk like 4 kilometers down the road, just see what we can see. And then we're gonna go through somebody's property. We have to pay 3,500 COP per person to walk on their property. But we're gonna go check out a waterfall. I think it's gonna be about 10 kilometers there and back, and we're trying to do so before the rain comes. But the mountains of Colombia are beautiful. We're hoping to see some wildlife and some birds. So hope to get some good shots to share with you guys. The El Dorado Bird Reserve is a protected area spanning over 2,500 acres, servicing as a refuge for both local and migratory birds. This region is critical for bird conservation thanks to its rich ecosystems, especially the subtropical wet forests and the cloud forests that blanket the Sierra Nevada mountains. So behind me is a coffee farm. They have all these coffee plants growing on the side of the hill, and they harvest them all by hand. They say people die every year harvesting them because these are steep, slippery slopes.
Contrasting to against the sky to make it out
Y después de lavado dura como 20 días, un mes para secarlo. Se llama pergamino seco, para secarlo en el sol.
You can see there's some red coffee beans ready to be picked.
Oh, really?
Antes, estos hay que secarlos. Sí, sí, hay una máquina que le quita la parte roja.
So I guess they plant the coffee plant and it grows for like 10 years like that. Then they come down and cut all the plants down to like 30 centimeters, and then they let them grow for another 5 years, and then they have to replant the coffee plant again. And I guess the best coffee or the plants are most fruitful between 5 and 8 years. So it's just really impressive, especially when you're standing here and you see the slope of these hills that these plants are growing on.
Why would you do that?
Oh, he's getting crazy. Look at that. Guillermo. This seems like a well-organized farm.
Yeah, yeah.
I might be able to pick these plants. So I didn't know this, but I guess the banana plant only grows one bundle of bananas per plant. Not far from the reserve lies La Victoria Coffee Farm in Minca, one of the Colombia's oldest coffee plantations established back in 1892. Over the years, it has grown into one of the top 5 coffee producers in the Magdalena region, turning out around 200,000 kilos of coffee per year. Only about 10% of that coffee is roasted and sold under their own label. The rest is exported to roasters and distributors around the world. So today we're going to go to La Victoria, which is a famous coffee plantation, and take a tour and check it out. All of their coffee is hand-picked when the cherries turn bright red or occasionally yellow, since only the ripest cherries yield high-quality beans. The coffee bean itself is actually the seed inside these cherries. Once harvested, the cherries are sent through a clever network of water channels that carry them down to a collection bin. From there, they move to the pulping machine, which removes the outer skin and fruit, leaving just the beans behind. The beans are then carried by water to the fermentation bays, where they rest before being washed and dried, all powered entirely by water from the farm's own system. Nothing goes to waste here. The leftover pulp and rejected beans are transformed into compost, enriching the very soil that will nurture the next coffee crop. Finally, the beans are roasted, filling the air with that rich, earthy aroma we all love. The entire process is fascinating, but honestly, it's the stunning mountain setting of the historic farm that truly steals the show. And of course, I couldn't leave without stocking up on some of Colombia's finest coffee for the boat.
Next, we headed into a small and charming town of Minca to grab some groceries, and of course a few ice cream treats. My friends and I were so excited to find the teeter-totters. You hardly ever see those anymore in America parks, probably because they were considered too dangerous. But of course, we love them.
Tell me the story about the gecko.
Well, me and Xanthia were looking for a moth because we like playing with moths. And I saw a gecko. I forget where, but I saw it. And then we caught it. And then it kind of just played with us, I guess.
Became your friend?
Yeah.
And what did you learn about geckos since he became your friend?
That they have little hairs that are really microscopic that stick into molecules, and that's how they climb up walls. And that if they lose their tail, they don't, it's just cartilage and they can't move it. Some of them can. If it moves, they've never had it cut off.
Why do they lose their tail?
When they get threatened or feel scared, they'll release their tail as a distraction to get away from the predator.
How long can they live?
In captivity, they can live 15 to 25 years. If they're not in captivity, maybe a lifespan of 10 years.
What do they eat?
They like to eat bugs. This guy ate like half of a moth and a few ants.
Did you name this guy while he was in your care?
Did you feed him a moth and it ate it?
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
And it ate an ant that was on my leg.
No kidding? Cool.
It scared me. I named it Liz. Well, it was named Gary, and then it supposedly is a girl now because we looked it up, and it has a smoother body. Here. Come here. It has a smoother stomach than a boy would, and a boy would have a lump on its stomach. So it's
cool.
a girl, we think.
Cool. Well, it looks like she's ready to go.
Good.
You're going to be sad to say goodbye to her?
Yeah, she's a pretty good lizard, but... And you see, she got a little scared when my friend caught her, so it got a little cut because she grabbed it instead of just letting it go under her finger. But my mom also said if I find a lizard close to our marina, I can keep it as a pet.
If it comes on our boat, because they're good on boats because they eat bugs, right?
Yep. And I researched where to a house for it, Mom.
Okay. All right. Well, say goodbye.
And,
We are heading out of here today to head back to the boat. Right, Maddie? We had a good time up here in Minca in the mountains, but we're ready to get back to some warmer weather. We were all a little underdressed here. We weren't expecting it to only be like 70, 75 degrees, and we're feeling chilly. Oh, big yawn. Did you get any sleep?
yeah.
Back on the boat, it was time to dive into more practical matters, boat chores, and repairs. You might remember that we replaced the O-ring in our black water valve earlier this year, but it looks like the replacement wasn't the perfect fit because it's leaking again. To make things trickier, Connor threw out his probably from sleeping on the super soft Airbnb bed, so Finn and I took on the repair ourselves. Since we needed to remove the black water valve, Finn got in the water to insert a bung into the through hole, which allowed me to safely pull the valve without letting seawater rush in. I'll spare you the rest of the messy details, but it's a good reminder that life isn't always sunshine and turquoise waters. Sometimes you've got to handle the dirty work to keep living the dream.
As always, we appreciate you tuning in for our adventures. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love it if you did. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who might enjoy following along. We love sharing our journey as we all learn about the ups and downs of boat life. If you have any questions or comments, we'd love to hear from you. My mom does her best to respond personally to each and every one of you. Thanks again for watching. See you next week.